Mr. Ferguson.
Here.
Mr. McCauley.
Here.
Ms. Powers.
Here.
Mr. Briggs. Mr. Thompson.
Here.
Mr. Hennessy.
Madam Chair, the first item of business is item 3 on the agenda, approval of the November 15th, 2018 Zoning Board of Appeals minutes.
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved. A second.
Call the roll, please.
Mr. Ferguson.
Aye.
Mr. McCauley.
Aye.
Mr. Thompson.
Aye.
Ms. Powers.
I vote aye with some changes made that were discussed with staff earlier.
Do you know what those are? Item 4 on the agenda, citizens to be heard on agenda items. This section is for anyone wanting to speak regarding items that are listed on the agenda, except for those items that are already listed under public hearing. Anyone speaking on an agenda item is entitled to speak for a maximum of 4 minutes. It's not a question and answer period, and staff and the Zoning Board of Appeals do not generally respond to public comments. Please note, speakers who engage in conduct injurious to the harmony of the Zoning Board of Appeals meeting shall be called to order by the presiding officer and may forfeit the opportunity to speak. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak on agenda items that are not public hearings? Seeing none, we'll move on. Item 5 is old business, public hearings. There are no business. Item 6, old business, items not requiring a public hearing. We have no items on that section. And then we get to item 7, new business, and these are public hearings. The first petition is petition 2018-63, a variation of use to allow continuation of a 4-unit, which is an R4 multifamily use in an R3 1 and 2 family residential district located at 426 through 432 Elwood Street. It should be noted that this petition has been tabled, and it would be tabled to the January meeting, and I believe that's January 15th. Just to double check and make an announcement. Look at the agenda. Just give you a date here. Yes, that would be the 17th. January 17th is the date at which this would be tabled. Next item on the agenda is item B, 7B, petition 2018-64, a variation of use to allow a bakery/grocery store in an R2 single-family residential zoning district located at 700 Henry Street.
Is Mr. Sanchez here?
This item, I'll just summarize the petition and then give the applicant an opportunity to speak. This is, the applicant is Ramiro Sanchez, also the owner of the property. The request is for a variation of use to allow a bakery/grocery store in an R2 single-family district. The variation of use must be considered by City Council following the recommendation of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Under site-specific information, the area in question consists of 2 adjacent lots at the corner of Henry Street and Hobbs Avenue. In total, the property is approximately 11,000 square feet in size, with 138 feet of frontage along Henry Street and 55 feet of frontage along Hobbs Avenue. The property includes 3 buildings, a one-story commercial building at 700 Henry Street, and a 1.5-story single-family residence at 102 South Hobbs Street, as well as a 3-car garage. A small breezeway connects the basements of the residence and the commercial unit. The 1,480 square foot commercial building was built around 1930 and operated as a neighborhood tavern until the early 2010s. Historically, the operators of the tavern resided at the adjacent house at 102 South Hobbs. The property with the 2 buildings has always been zoned for residential use. In 1990, the city sanctioned the commercial use by granting a variation of use to allow an existing tavern in what was then zoned an R3 single 1 and 2 family residential district. The subject property was reclassified from R3 1 and 2 family residential to R2 single family residential zoning in the early 2000s. In 2013, the City Council rejected a variation of use petition for this property, which would have allowed packaged liquor sales in addition to the tavern use. The business closed shortly after this denial. The city declared the property a public nuisance in 2015 It has been vacant for several years and is in poor condition. The surrounding zoning, land use, and character include R2, R2 single-family residential to the north and east and west, and R3 1 and 2 family residential to the south. Applicable regulations for this include the permitted principal uses section of the R2 district, the prohibited uses of the R2 district, and the variation of use provisions. Under discussion, the petitioner recently purchased the property and would like to convert the vacant commercial unit into a neighborhood bakery and grocery store, the Takaniho Bakery. As stated in the site-specific information, the building has a long history of commercial use, having been a tavern for over 80 years. The property owner intends to clean up the site and improve it, as well as substantially remodel both the commercial unit and the single-family home. At this location, the new owner intends to bake goods that he will use at his restaurants and also operate a small grocery store. The property owner operates the following 3 Joliet restaurants: Ta Canijo, formerly Tacos R Us, at 328 McDonough Street, Puerto Escondido at 509 North Chicago Street, and Ta Canijo at 2951 Centerpoint Way. The main entrance into the bakery/grocery store will be from the rear parking lot. The door at the corner of Henry Street and Hobbs Avenue will be an emergency access or egress. The business will employ 5 to 6 people, and store hours will be 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. 7 days a week. A conceptual floor plan is attached. The property owner will be required to bring both buildings fully up to code before a certificate of completion can be issued. The owner intends to fix the commercial unit first, and the property owner has experience remodeling dilapidated commercial properties. The owner remodeled the property at 328 McDonough Street for his restaurant. The property owner will be required to establish 2 lines of water service per city ordinance, and this has been made a condition of approval. The zoning ordinance requires 8 spaces for a 1,480 square foot retail store and 2 spaces for a single-family house. The property has sufficient parking to accommodate the proposed use, with parking for 9 vehicles in the paved parking lot adjacent to the building to the north, and a site plan is attached. The parking lot requires seal coating, and this has been made a condition of approval. The house has sufficient off-street parking available in its garage and paved driveway. There is also parking for 3 cars in a paved area of the city parkway along Henry Street, and for 1 car in a paved area of the city parkway along Hobbs Avenue. The Department of Public Works has determined that some of the sidewalks along Henry Street and Hobbs Avenue are in poor condition, and deteriorated sections should be replaced through the city's next available program round for the 50/50 sidewalk replacement program, or by December 2019, whichever date is occurring first. The property already has a screened area for a dumpster located in the parking lot. If the zoning board desires to approve the variation of use, the following conditions would be included. 1, that 9 off-street parking spaces shall be created in the parking lot for the commercial unit prior to the issuance of a certificate of completion, and that 9 off-street parking spaces shall remain in the future. That the parking lot shall be seal-coated and restriped prior to the issuance of a certificate of completion. That the property owner shall replace the deteriorated sidewalks along Henry Street and Hobbs Avenue through the city's next available program round for the 50/50 sidewalk replacement program, or by December 2019, whichever date occurs first. 5, that the commercial unit and residential unit shall maintain separate water and sewer service lines along with separate water meters. If the city determines that 2 separate lines do not exist, the owner shall establish 2 separate lines prior to the issuance of a certificate of completion. And 6, that the use of the property shall not be expanded in the future. And 7, should the property be declared a public nuisance. I'm going to renumber here based on an addendum that was received today. Number 6 is that the use of the property shall not be expanded in the future. Number 7 is that a business license shall be obtained. And number 8 is that should the property be declared a public nuisance by the city council, the variation of use is automatically revoked. So 8 total conditions. And that concludes staff's report.
I have to swear you in. You swear your statements to be true?
Yes, ma'am.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Romero Sanchez at 509 North Chicago Street.
Speak into the microphone. That one, I think, the big one, right? Or the little one?
The big one.
Big one.
509 North Chicago Street.
Okay, do you have anything to add to what Mr. Schwartz read?
No, ma'am, he did a really elaborate
good
job
job?
of doing it, yeah.
Does anybody have any questions?
No.
No? Board have any questions? Anybody out there wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Is there anybody opposed? Okay, we'll close the petition and ask for discussion and a vote, please.
Motion to approve. I second. Yeah, I'll second it.
All right, call the roll.
Mr. Thompson?
Yes.
Mr. Ferguson?
Aye. Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Powers?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Petition 2018-65.
Petition 2018-65. This is a request for, the applicant and owner is Ketone Acquisitions LLC, 3200 Shanahan Road. This is a request for a special use permit in order to allow the development of a truck hauling facility. As per the applicable zoning code, section 47.14.2AD, special uses, all industrial districts. Carting, express, and hauling establishments may be allowed only as special uses by the mayor and city council with the advice of the zoning board of appeals in accordance with section 47-5.2. Under site-specific information, the 22.5-acre subject site is located on Lot 7 in the Ketone Business Center subdivision, Unit 2, which was approved in June of 2018. The existing zoning is I-2, General Industrial. This case was filed November 9th of 2018. A variation to allow additional truck and trailer parking for a proposed 252,000 square foot warehouse was approved by the Zoning Board of Appeals in June of 2018. This project is no longer being pursued by the developer. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character is as follows. To the north, industrial, zoned I-2. To the south is undeveloped, zoned I-2. To the east is undeveloped, zoned I-2. To the west is industrial, zoned I-2. Applicable regulations are the special uses for all industrial districts. And again, the petitioner's request is to develop a truck hauling facility for a 12-year-old logistics company within the Ketone Business Center. The petitioner has requested that the name of the company be withheld at this time in order to maintain anonymity during continued contract negotiations. It should be noted that though the future user is what's referred to as an Inc. 2018 5000 company, which are considered the fastest growing companies in America. The future user presently leases office space in DuPage County, has a truck maintenance building and parking area in Will County, and parks tractors and trailers at various yards throughout the country. The future logistics user is seeking to build its corporate headquarters on the site that will include a truck maintenance space and area for truck and trailer parking. One thing I want to add about the truck maintenance space is the work being done is only repair work on the vehicles that the company owns or that they contract with another company. There's no public garage here for anyone else to have trucks repaired. The future operation would allow the drivers to park and leave their personal vehicles on site and pick up a tractor trailer for their runs. 90% of the trucking operation is conducted over the road, both in the United States and Canada. The drivers usually return from their assignments within 3 to 5 days. Trailers that are not on the road may remain parked on site for periods of 1 to 2 weeks. The proposed parking area will not be utilized by over-the-road drivers or other drivers. There will be no drivers sleeping on site or in their trucks or automobiles. The site will not be used for loading or unloading of cargo. The future logistics user anticipates about 118 office, mechanic, and trucking employees relocating to this site to start at this new location. At full capacity, the user believes it will employ approximately 200 or more full-time employees. The median salaries are projected to be between $70,000 and $90,000 a year with benefits that include health insurance, retirement, and tuition reimbursement. A proposed $15 million investment in the site would facilitate a development that would include a 40,000 square foot precast building, and a concept plan and elevations are included in your packet. The future building will include a 20,000 square feet for office space and 20,000 square feet for a truck maintenance space. Again, that is maintenance only for their vehicles and companies that they contract with. The proposed concept plan also includes 301 trailer parking positions and 83 automobile parking spaces. The building will include 2 dock doors and 14 drive-in maintenance stalls. The future operation uses new trucks that are approximately 1 to 2 years old, and a move towards an electric-based or hydrogen-based fleet of trucks may be pursued in the near future. Only tractors and trailers that are company-owned will be repaired and maintained at the proposed facility. No major repairs will be conducted in the parking lot. No cargo containers or chassis will be stored on the site. Landscaping, screening, and parking lot paving will be required as per the city zoning ordinance. This will include a 30-foot wide berm and landscaping along the future Hobart Road Bridge right-of-way. Adequate stormwater detention is currently provided for as part of an existing stormwater detention pond within the industrial park. If the zoning board desires to approve the special use permit, the following conditions would be included. 1, that a landscape plan be submitted as part of the building permit plan set that meets city ordinance. 2, that the special use granted shall herein terminate and lapse unless a building permit or certificate of occupancy is obtained. And I won't read the rest of this, but it's standard language for that provision. And finally, condition 3 would state that should the property be declared a public nuisance, it shall be subject to a rehearing and possible revocation of the special use permit. That concludes staff's report.
Thank you. Mr. Hanson, let me swear you in. Do you swear your statements to be true?
Yes, I do.
Take
Good
your
afternoon, Madam Chairman, members of the Commission, Michael Hanson, Kavanaugh, Grumley, Gorbel, here on behalf of the petitioner, Ketone Acquisitions. We agree with the staff report. We are very encouraged to have a company of this magnitude come to the city of Joliet at this very good site. So we recommend approval of our petition.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Mr. Hanson? Anybody out there wishing to speak in favor of this petition? Is anybody opposed? Okay, well, ask the board for a vote. Is there a motion?
Motion that we approve it. I second.
You have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Ferguson?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We have
Then-
petition 2018-66. Is Mr. Perez here?
Petition 2018-66, the applicant is Jose Perez, also the owner of the property. This is at 637 Betula Street, and the request is a variation to reduce the corner side yard setback. This request is to reduce the required corner side yard setback from 20 feet to 10 feet in order to construct a single-family home on a corner lot. The zoning board makes the final decision for this type of variation request. Under site-specific information, the lot located at the northwest corner of Betula Street and Lakeview Avenue is 40 by 108 feet, roughly 4,313 square feet, and is currently vacant. The property is in the Montclair subdivision, which was recorded in 1914 and annexed to the city in 1963. The existing zoning is R2 single-family residential, and the petition was filed November 9th. Surrounding zoning, land use, and character are as follows: R2 single-family residential to the north, east, south, and west, surrounded by various subdivisions. Applicable regulations include the yard and lot requirements of the R2 district and yard requirements for corner and through lots, as well as the findings of fact for supporting a variation. Under discussion, the petitioner desires to construct a single-family home on the vacant lot, which according to city directory data has never been improved with a residence. The proposed 1.5-story home measures 24 feet by 50 feet, which includes an 816 square feet of living space and a 16 by 22-foot attached garage. The proposed home is set back 10 feet from the side lot line along Lakeview Avenue, and the petitioner is requesting a variation to reduce the required corner side yard setback from 20 feet to 10 feet because the lot is only 40 feet wide, so adhering to the required setback would permit a house with a maximum width of only 15 feet. The proposed home meets all other required setbacks for the R2 district. The proposed home will have a gable roof and brick siding, and there are attached elevations in your packet, and that is similar in style to several other homes in the neighborhood. A number of other homes and garages along Lakeview Avenue are also set back less than 20 feet from the property line. The proposed site plan includes an attached garage and an approximately 10 by 20-foot paved parking pad, which together provide the required 2 parking spaces under the zoning ordinance. The petitioner will be required to install public sidewalks along both street frontages. And that concludes staff's report.
Thank you. I'm going to swear you in. Do you swear your statements to be true?
Yes, I do.
Thank you. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Brendan Sharon. I'm 8818 Hillside Drive, St. John, Indiana.
Okay. You're not Mr. Perez.
I am not, he's here, but I'm going to be the builder, so
Oh, you're building.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you have any comments that you'd like to make? Any changes or?
No, I do have a question about the sidewalks, though. There's no sidewalks in any home in that area. Is that something, I mean,
Mr.
if you look at that
Schwartz?
area, you'll see there's no sidewalk. There's no continuity whatsoever for the sidewalks to be put in. This is the first I'm hearing about the sidewalks.
There are a few homes in the area that have sidewalks. It's a kind of a, it's hit or miss, but because it's new development, we will be seeking sidewalks.
I see.
Okay, no, it's fine. I didn't know.
Well, on, excuse me, on Lakeview Drive there, Lakeview Avenue, south of there is actually in Rockdale, isn't it? South of Lakeview.
I would have to check the map. Can you do that, Jim? We don't know yet if that's unincorporated or village of.
Well, I know Rockdale, they butt up against Joliet right in that area there. So a lot of them don't have sidewalks.
But if this is Joliet and that's what the city is requiring
Well,
for
that
new
is-
construction, then yes, you would be required to put.
Sorry, no.
Do you have any other questions or comments?
I don't. He's bang on.
Did it all, huh?
He's bang on, that guy.
Anybody here have any questions?
No.
No? Is there anybody in the audience wishing
Got a
to
lady.
speak in favor of this petition? I can't see. Anybody opposed? Could you step forward,
There she
please?
go.
Couldn't see. I have to swear you in. You swear your statements to be true.
I do.
You state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Lou Ann Holm, and I live at 721 Oakley Avenue in Joliet. And as a precursor to the south side of Lakeview, that is Joliet in that area for probably 3 or 4 houses.
Yeah, and then
Let
there,
me- let me
Because
see-
I lived there when it was all annexed, so I know the history.
One sec, can we see that map with all the, that's it? No, the other one. Okay. So you're not on this map, though? No.
No, but I have property that is,
Okay. All right.
and it does have sidewalks.
Well, that's good. Your comments, please.
I'd like to say that my family has 3 homes in the area that were notified about this, so it's not just one. And I have several concerns that I'd like to see addressed. Every driver, almost without exception, knows the frustration of danger of trying to get through an intersection where the view's obstructed. And this requested variance may well produce such a situation. The particular parcel of land's an unusually small lot on a corner. The streets in the area are relatively narrow, which is frequently made worse by, and more dangerous, by parking of vehicles along the roadway. Will there be sufficient room for parking on the lot once construction is completed so that residents and their visitors can park without obstructing traffic or causing drivers heading through the intersection of Batula and Lakeview visual impairment?
Should I answer that?
Yes, there is. That's a 2-car garage along with a 2-car parking pad. I believe we're required for 2 spots to park, and we have 4 at least.
Well, one car parking,
Well,
one
it's
car
a-
attached garage,
It's a 16-foot wide, okay.
Yeah.
It's an oversized one car.
oversized one car, yeah. And a parking pad as well.
So
Well,
you have parking for 3 people on that property,
Yes,
for 3 cars on that property?
Well, part of the concern, once again, is with it being set closer, it does tend to limit your view as to the cross-traffic. I bring this up in particular because we've long dealt with just this situation at the next intersection, which is that of Betula and Bellevue. A home near that intersection is also crowded onto a small lot, allowing for little parking space on that lot. As a result, the occupants park in the street, and this frequently results in a situation where only a small car might be able to get through. Often it necessitates that you back around down the block until you can turn around. Even more distressing than that is the fact that should an ambulance or fire truck be needed nearby, it would be delayed due to inaccessibility to Betula. And this can affect many homes in that area because access is also limited by I-80 and the fact that Ferris Avenue, which travels through West Park, is very narrow and has very tight curves that large vehicles have a very, very difficult time trying to get through. And that's just in the summer, when the roads are clear. In the winter, of course, it adds to that. My second concern is that this particular parcel of land is in an area that draws a fairly large amount of foot and bicycle traffic in addition to school bus stop and our regular vehicular traffic, which all share the street. It's near the park, and consequently children, pedestrians, bicycles, and regular vehicular traffic is common. So once again, any obstruction of vision at the intersection is a danger which should be addressed prior to any variance. Thirdly, I have a concern that any fence or high shrubs that might be installed later would additionally limit visibility, being as the lot is so small to start with. And lastly, in that area, we have frequent water main breaks in the area of Lakeview between the park and Betula Avenue and up to Midland. This most often occurs in the winter months, but also occurs during warm weather. This is due to the age of the main in that area. We've had at least 5 or 6 such breaks in the past year, and we're actually without a working fire hydrant for approximately 9 months. So tapping into this very old and precarious water line may well likely result in additional issues for the other residents of the neighborhood. I don't know if there's much that can be done about that.
Are there any plans to replace any of that stuff by the city, those water lines, those old?
I don't have that information. That would be a question for our Public Utilities Department. As far as the existing, the repairs that you said were done over this past summer. But I can try to address the first 3 concerns that you brought up as far as the visibility.
Mm-hmm.
The city has a requirement that any corner lot such as this maintain a minimum 46-foot, what we call a vision triangle. It's an imaginary triangle that we draw over the corner of the property. And not only the corner of the property, but it extends where there's no curbs here, but where the street pavement is. We draw 46 feet in each direction and then draw a dotted line. That's the triangle. And this proposed house plan actually meets that and maintains that. So there can't be anything, the house itself can't be in that area. And then also for future landscaping and fences, we have a maximum fence height of 4 feet for any kind of a front fence. And so it's not, that's going to be further in along the, you can't go past your property line. So the greenery that forms the right-of-way, Jim, if you can go back to the aerial. Well, maybe the next one, Jim. Yeah, this one. This plan here, you can kind of see where the lot is outlined in black, and then the streets are kind of a gray crosshatch.
Mm-hmm.
The white space that wraps around the lot that says vacant land, the white space, that's grass, that's just public right-of-way where the sidewalk would go. But that's all open area that counts toward that 46-foot triangle that I mentioned. So we're confident your first 4 concerns about the vision will not be an issue. It has to meet that 46-foot, and it does. The fifth, or the last condition you mentioned about the water main, the existing, the age of the existing.
It's due to age.
Um,
It freezes every winter.
I'm not sure
breaks
that
and-
that's the fact that this is a vacant lot makes it available for development to. they have,
Understood.
the right to build on it.
I understand that.
But we can check with the Public Utilities Department to see if maybe down the road, in the near future, there are any plans to replace any of the main located along Lakeview.
It has been indicated to us that that is the intent of the city along with curbs. But I don't know at what point in time that may occur.
Have you been in touch with your council person
No.
about that? You might mention your concern about that to them. I don't know if they can push that up
I
on
mean,
the
it's-
agenda or
this
do
happens,
anything.
it happens frequently, so you can just figure that any disturbance to that main is going to cause an issue for everybody in that neighborhood. Just, that's not your fault, and it's, but that's just the way it is. It's just been there so long. I guess after that, I'd like to say thank you for the opportunity to present my views and for your time and consideration.
Thank you. Is there anybody else wishing to speak in opposition to this petition? Close the discussion, we'll close the petition and ask for discussion and a vote, please. Motion would be in order.
So moved. I second.
We have a motion and a second. Call the roll, please.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Mr. Ferguson? Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item on your agenda that concludes the public hearings on the agenda. The next section of the agenda is Section 8, new business, not public hearing. You'd have no business on that item. Section 9, public comments. This is just kind of a final call for anyone wanting to speak regarding non-agenda items, and there's a maximum time limit of 4 minutes. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to speak under public comments?
That's not.
Seeing none, the last item is item 10, adjournment.
All right. We have a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Okay, call the roll, please.
Mr. Ferguson?
Aye.
Mr. McCauley?
Aye.
Mr. Thompson?
Aye.
Ms. Powers?
Aye. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Merry